Storm needs to stay alive, juggling with the movement again. Him and Storm, their finesse together, combined, and that is OT. To take a step, Valin forwards, just cleans both of them up.
Here with Coach Josh RT of G2, stealing NRG's classic Haven away from them. Beautifully done. I'm going to ask you kind of a less success-based question, if you will. I'm very curious as to why you didn't move Icy to a different duelist, considering we're in kind of this new duelist meta.
Well, we did experiment with Neon, and I wasn't happy with the one less stun that made Neon so useful before, despite the fast rotations and whatnot. So we thought like Jet gives more consistent value, and might as well just keep Icy on Jet.
Well, best of luck on map 2.
Welcome back, everyone. So NRG definitely had a bit of a slow start on the defense side. And honestly, I'm kind of curious, Andrew, do we think it might be attributed to the comp that they had?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to flame the comp, but I just want to say that it has merit, and I liked a lot of the ideas they had. That being said, it's very hard to make the comp work. The main thing that you'd see on defense was them throwing double early smokes, especially on that mid window, to try to take early control, but they were losing those fights early to G2. And then after that, they have to be able to control a lot of those lanes by using deadlock utility. So they lose that player in mid. Finesse throws down his util here, stalls it out over towards the A side. But as soon as G2 frees inside the run, just look, there's no passive info anywhere on the map for NRG. So you send Crashies with 2 Prowlers to go clear out in front of mid. And then these players, the stack of NRG, look to get re-aggressive over into A and step up into that space. But this is kind of the nature of how the comp plays out. When you lack passive info, you have to go actively seek out information. And Valin was calling very well against it.
Yeah, and we saw in the second half more the value from that Clove, right? Having multiple smokes for your sight hit, being able to kind of branch that off, but that Cypher not having it on the defense really, I think, hurt them
100%.
there, especially with really only having that fade to re-clear space without having to send someone in.
And just a couple of rounds later, we can watch that one too, because NRG called the timeout and shifted their play, so they stopped playing so much for mid control and fought a lot of down C long there creeping up. They fought for A lobby control. They got an early kill. It's a 4 versus 5, but it gaps their mid. And NRG could not answer Leaf. I loved the way Leaf found himself inserted up here in window and then kept farming Myrna.
I feel like the thing about Leaf is that he acknowledged that there was sort of this fake Senti stereotype kind of going on, and he was not afraid to take the space that he needed to take. Both
25
on attack,
kills.
Literally, this is his map, and both attack and defense, he felt like he had the freedom to kind of walk up, take those kills. The only reason why he was kind of able to get those Sheriff collat too, he just walked all the way through A because he felt like he had that ability.
And for G2 on their attacking side too, I think the slow pace they like to play when they're focused on the mid round, as Valin almost always is, played really well into this deadlock Yoru comp. They were timing out Ethan's gate crashes, which cut off these fast rotations. They were timing out those deadlock walls, and I think they did a really good job of selling so many fakes at the right time that forced NRG to play retake where their comp struggled.
Yeah, they found all the gaps.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's see what the NRG coach had to say before we head on over to map 2.
Here with Chet from NRG, losing your map pick, but we had a very exciting comp from you guys. It was surprising, it was exciting. Despite the result, what was the purpose of that comp, and do you think you guys achieved that today?
Well, defense, we felt like we had a lot of good stalling on all the characters, except for maybe Clove, and we liked that the fact that the Clove can kind of be a little aggressive, but maybe in this game we're too much, and that kind of like made our defense a little bit harder because there was more gaps. So maybe we had to tone it down a slight bit, but I mean, play purpose-wise, we did stall them a lot. We just kind of let them play their gaps a lot, and we didn't like re-clear as much as we should have.
Well, best luck on map 2.
I mean, that's really interesting to hear. So this comp, I think you even said this, Ender, this comp can work. I think NRG just, they weren't utilizing it to its fullest capacity.
I mean, it's hard, especially the real problem on defense with this comp is if you ever lose a player, like, you can't control all the lanes that attackers could get into. If you have 5 people alive, you can post up, you can use your fade util and have a good idea of where they are, but if your Clove is dying early, like in the round we saw where they're stepping out into mid and falling, all of a sudden you have to step forward in your grouped little packs, and it just wasn't going well for
And
NRG.
again, I think people are going to over-fixate on the composition is the biggest issue. I think it's actually really hard to do what G2 did, playing that slow pace, the amount of fakes they were actually pulling off, and finding those gaps so consistently. Leaf, especially, who you were talking about,
Yeah.
I think did so much of that on those lurks. He was crazy impactful.
Yeah, even on the defense side, they switched up their setup to kind of properly play that retake. And the reason being because they have so much more util over this comp, and that is what they kind of just had. And they kind of understood that. But now going into Bind, I mean, now we've kind of seen the IGLs head-to-head go against each other, and they both had really good ideas. And Valen just being so strong on the mid-rounding, I feel like for Bind, I'm just really excited to see how that kind of goes.
Well, I guess honestly, I'm just curious to see what NRG is cooking up on this. I mean, we saw what happened on Haven. Do we think they're going to bring something new, or are they going to stick to something like more tried and true, so that they can actually get a win?
I mean, genuinely, I think a Yoru is very much on the table for them. I also would say, in my opinion, Deadlock, her best map is Bind. So if they wanted to run some Deadlock again and send that in there, I think this is a map where you can get away with that. But it's also, a lot of teams just stick to the Rays and the tried and true. So it's a very hard one to call.
Yeah, I think it's also tough if you want to get that Deadlock in, considering what you're going to be giving up. Normally, you're going to be playing like the Brim solo smokes.
You're playing solo smokes with the Deadlock,
which
yeah.
can make things a little bit more difficult on your attack side in that mid-round, but those post-ones are, of course, going to be really strong. NRG, though, they were historically really good on this map. When Finesse was calling in the past, his attack side mid-rounding especially, that we saw actually come alive towards the end of Haven, is one of the strengths here.
Yeah, for sure. They're just really active and can be extremely proactive when they need to be. And I feel like that's why the previous comp kind of made sense. But going into this next Bind, I'm kind of expecting to see G2 play to their strengths, because we did just hear in that interview where they were like, we tried a bunch of different duelists and it didn't really work. So I'm just kind of expecting to see that going on.
I saw some spoilers, and I want to talk about a Sage for NRG, because I think this agent is, just very good on Bind. I think especially on attack, getting very easy plants over to the A side, especially with nerfs to Raze. It is so much harder to fight forward into backside A space quickly with those Satchel's nerfs. So changing it up and having a Sage wall to secure very easy plants, I think is very viable at the moment.
Slow orbs are also invaluable. A on your executes and B on your retakes to stop people from flooding on forward angle.
Not just that, you can throw slows on B long so you can't get sky flashed and swung into on those corners. It's a very versatile agent.
But I feel like it kind of goes against what NRG is kind of known for, playing a little bit more proactive, a little more active playstyle. I mean, Ethan's on the Sage, so I do think we're going to look at a battle Sage kind of operating on top of the wall, but I don't know exactly how I'm feeling about it.
G2's on their classic comp, though. They've been really good on Bind throughout this year, getting wins over teams like 100 Thieves when they were at their best. This is a comfortable place to close the series.
Well, you know what? Let's find out if NRG can bounce back and send things over to map 3. Once again, here's Bryn and Sideshow.
NRG would love to bounce back. G2, of course, exact same position. They'd love to close it out with the amount of history that's between both of these teams. You know, we've been alluding to it at Reykjavik. It was almost, you know, at the time, the narratives, the storylines, we were talking about the passing of the torch, I suppose, and this old, grizzled core of NRG with Finesse leading it. They had a bit of a rivalry with the young up-and-comers, right, with Valen at the time, way back.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the initial Reykjavik events. And, you know, since then, they actually parted ways. You know, with FNS retiring, Valen playing in, you know, Ascension, actually finally earning the spot, they didn't really think that this fated day would come where there was that chance of revenge to continue that storyline that really was just settled down all those years ago.
It was interesting a couple of years ago, too. Valen's team bombing out of that event as the #1 seed from NA, while Finesse's team won the event as the #2 seed from NA. But G2 with the lead here. Another slow pistol round, trying to feel out what the defensive setup is.
Victor is going to be inserted here. I mean, that adjustment by Trent. What? Surely should have been a free kill for Som.
Been
ridiculous.
It reminds me a little bit of the whiff on Valen when Finesse and Som had the crossfire set up. You got to be delivering on the freebies. G2 are not going to give you many.
Contact. Victor, I believe, taking it here. It's going to be triggering that flash potentially as a team blind, yet still.
It's another...
I mean, that's a kill that Icy gets.
Another freebie missed. They should have had the punish onto Trent, and they should have made sure that Icy could not go 1-on-1 in that spot.
3 versus 3, a lot of uncertainty. You can see it from the positioning, but as soon as they hear the flash, Ethan make his way over towards the A site now, trying to play up inside FNS. Now holding on to that backside control. Now the line's getting redrawn here. Flash from Jonah P. Just wants to clear out through into Lamps. Boombot. Gonna set the stage nicely here for Ethan. No one really acknowledging that that could be a possibility. Still man taken front and center. 2v2 now. Be scared of potential, but a wrap around here trying to set Victor up. Sprinting right round and tapping with the ghost eventually. There with the kill.
And with how close that comes to, and at the very end, any of those early situations would have probably won NRG the pistol round. It's so tough to think of should have happened rather than did happen. What? But when you're looking at situations like this, it seems fairly cut and dry to me. G2 have just robbed them. So frustrating from Victor. He had so many early deaths there on Haven that were putting his team at disadvantaged spots. You heard Chet talk about it, or at least allude to it. Didn't want to call out Victor directly, of course. But starts out with a couple kills, couldn't win the clutch.
Big acknowledgement there from Crashies.
Scout destroyed.
G2 are no slouches on this map. It was their map pick for a reason. Look at some very good teams on this one. It's a very disrespectful reflank, but honestly necessary from FNS.
Yeah, both of these comps, and to be honest, most comps that teams are playing on Bind right now are not going to have a Sentinel to watch the flank. So all of those things that we were talking about on Haven, they can apply here as well. But teams are normally more wary of them because it's standard.
Toxin screen down.
Leaf with the deep lurk out through showers, so his team were aware that that was a free option.
Gecko ult is online even before the flank goes down there, actually.
That's ridiculous by Trent.
Round 2.
Still going to be absorbing these players off onto the flank. Couple of unawareness here from Som. Just not expecting that. Leaf as well go and walk about. He didn't have the gun in his hand, so might as well take an attempt at it.
And they can hear Crashies running away. NRG here. They are only down one player, but it looks like they're just going to try to die to the spike. You got to entertain yourself some way when you're just saving like that, I suppose.
A little bundle ad.
Yeah,
thrown into,
exactly.
into the middle of the round.
Riot will be very happy with that one.
Yep. They'll go down to the spike, just not willing to let the ults keep generating. The war machine rumbling. G2 though. Like you mentioned, Trent's already built himself up to that thrash. You can use that in a multitude of ways, honestly.
Very versatile. We actually saw a flash there for a moment of Ethan picking up the operator. Glass cannon op for Ethan. Let's don't give it in the slow-mo. We already gave it enough advertising time, surely.
The people love it.
It does get the people going. But yeah, look at this op. So, Sage pick is a little unusual, that we have seen plenty of teams run it in the past on Bind with almost exactly the same comp. Holding contact here. This is the kind of spot that Icy or sometimes Jonah P are going to be facing.
You're going to catch the swing. Jump spot doesn't bait the shot, Ethan. Trouble is, was the info given?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. That was a very shallow jump peak from Jonah P. I don't know whether he spotted the fact that Ethan is there with the op. It may have just come up as a question mark.
Icy's making us feel like there's a lot of pressure happening, but straight over towards the A side. Thrash is going to be used to squeeze the Showers player with a TP. That is immaculate. The timing could not be better. Som has to make a play here, pushes past the smoke initially. And G2 seem to be aware of it, more than aware of it. Just accepting that that was a little bit of a weakness in terms of their hold. And again, the save has to happen. Ethan, with the operator in his hand, there's no chance.
Has he got a nice skin on the op that he can inspect?
It's a classic, but...
Yeah, it's brutal out there. That's the value that Trent gets by building up the ultimate so early on. He has it for the bonus round, and G2 craft a really nice plan around it. They've been doing a lot of this where they're pressuring up. I mean, I say a lot of it. We're only 3 rounds in, but they're already starting to condition that when they put pressure B long, they can instantly pivot through that teleporter. And the Thrash there caught Victor dead to rights. He didn't read the play coming through, wasn't able to back out into the site where he might have had a chance of surviving. A G2 pick a freebie up, to be honest with you.
Another bonus round win. Yeah, I mean, okay, never add. Throw it into the mix. Add it to the highlight reel.
Someone's got to stop him. I know the game hasn't been that competitive at the moment, but NRG, they're still capable of making comebacks.
They did hold on to enough weapons to at least scrounge up a bit of a buy, bit of a purchase.
Now this time as well, the operator's looking like it's heading down towards B long, and that's the area where we've seen G2 put early control in their default.
FNS going to be at least bodyguarding. Takes out at least the stun. Flash alerts, excuse me. Ethan, great first pickup. With Trent falling. It's exactly the kind of value they were looking for with this pickup.
Yeah, pretty lovely. Good adaptation as well in terms of where he was rotating to. And with the wall not being broken, he still feels comfortable picking up the ult orb. Now, you really do need to break that wall, I think, unless you're planning to return there late on in the round, because it's just getting so much good info for NRG right now. You can afford to have 3 players A. You're just not worried about long.
Simplify the process in terms of playing a map whenever you see a Sage being played.
And Alan's going to ignore it completely, though. Start looking down short. Victor the first to take contact, but only with the Guardian.
ADS up. Time to pop some heads, but there's a wall up in his face now. Seeks to reposition. Got sailed right past the initial few players here, but now they want to go explosives. A flash, a nade, over towards the top. Good adjustment by Crashies. He wants to get it active. Pressing the advantage. It's covered, though. Open his back up wide to the anti-flash play, and Jonah P, of course, he's going to oblige.
30 seconds left.
That's a really bold play to go for. Can't imagine that one getting value very often. Puts so much stress and strain on Ethan and Finesse to do this. Finesse, his fragging has not been great so far this match, and Ethan, he's got an op in hand.
Rifles are all front sight.
It would require something pretty huge. There we go. Ethan at least gets a Guardian back to work with.
Maybe it's a possibility, but still the util's running short. Vulnerable. This one a snake bite, rebounds perfectly. Orb up in their face, Ethan sticking already onto half and spamming away and praying from G2, but realistically all under their control. Familiar scenes to the first map that we witnessed where G2 just started to take that really momentous lead.
They were 6-0 up on Haven, and honestly, it looks like it's about to be the same here again on Bind. Despite the fact that Ethan gets the first pick, I'm just so surprised at this from Crashies. Genuinely.
Look at that.
It's odd, right?
A solo Sky Flash in that position is almost never going to be able to blind enough people for you to get a 2K on the people holding the crossfire. It seems very rushed. He's the sole initiator. Maybe he just felt like he had to make a play.
That's disrespect. Oh, my God. When Trent's instantaneous onto the line, and as well, Ethan wants to have another go at things. Looking like he wanted to square up to the challenge, but gotta respect it. That is a lot of utility sent flying.
It does feel to some degree like we've wound the clock back to 2022. Trent's absolute peak of when he was popping off, putting his name on the map.
Opening the roundup with the setup to a bad joke. Wingman, a boombot, and a prowler. Not a prowler, a trailblazer. I beefed it.
Walk into a bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walk into showers. You can groan at that. That wasn't good.
I don't know what the hell the punch would be.
Yeah, neither do I.
Toxin screen down.
FNS started a steep push from him. Might be able to get someone. No, it's Leaf who gets him.
It's every scenario. I mean, that just sums up the whole match so far, doesn't it?
He's rooted out of the spot.
It's another spot where Finesse should be able to get value. Someone on NRG should have a freebie, and G2, especially Leaf, overcoming the odds and out-delivering.
This flank immediately being responded by G2. They want to double up here. Flash way ahead of it. Not with the guns. They can't really obtain too much more. Stinger! What is that by Trent?
How does he hit that?
I have no idea. It's in mid-air. I mean, Ethan, though, it's made it a chance, and a slim one at that when Icy's holding on to this showstopper. Again, G2 making sure that they can double up. It's a wall to try and at least get himself into the position. Drop down. Spots a wall. And a satchel. Push them up and away. 42 health. One single bullet. It's all it's going to take here. This position. It's running rings around them still, G2. Set their sights onto Ethan. Eventually taking him out. 5 in a row now for them.
Ethan still with an operator to work with here then, as we head into another really important round for NRG to start getting something back. Finesse is trying to find these timings. Looking at the success that Leaf had, I mean, what is the final possible bullet that Trent could have fired? But reactions like that just indicate how little pressure that the G2 players are feeling in these kind of spots. They're running away with it. They're feeling calm and casual about things. Happy to, you know, do the co-streamer pog face at the same time as playing the match.
Yeah, slap it on a thumbnail.
Exactly.
Call it a day. Timeout. Oh, again. Yeah, I mean...
Not again.
Not again.
We're getting a little silly out here today, aren't we? NRG, though, the vibes in that camp won't not be the same as over towards G2. NRG are struggling to get anything going. Ethan did find that good value with the operator over towards B long, but you can't just keep running that over and over again. At some point, G2 are going to figure it out. You feel like you have to be working the map a little bit more, but it's really quite difficult for Ethan to get on enough unusual angles while playing Sage with the op. And also, a lot of the time on the defense side, you're going to want to wall something off early round. Like, you're going to want to push into showers, wall that off, and then you're not set up early round with the off. So, it can work, but I think it's tough, and that's exactly what we were talking about with NRG's comp and ideas on Haven. It definitely can work, but it is so difficult to pull off.
And the way that G2 play, force your opponents to stew. A lot of early showers control is given up. Of course, it's being held by Ethan just next to him.
Scout destroyed.
Trailblazer gone. Walking up past, just trying to make the most of this fuel timing. They've got themselves into position, front to side. Almost free for the taking. Jonah P, at least keeping these players attached and tethered to the position, even forcing the rotate. They hear the footsteps of Victor. He's the one with a showstopper. Could have stopped all of it. What a call they've made. It's flanks on flanks. It's a deep push out of showers. The exact same instance. I mean, this just comes down to who gets these kills.
It looks so similar to rounds that Finesse himself would call on the attack side. Heavy lamps control.
This is absurd.
There's fights all over the place.
And Victor's not expecting this. Why would you?
One in spawn, one in market.
And look at the position of Trent. I mean, it's an off angle. They're not overextending. They know that they lost showers control the whole time. It could have been pushed out deep. And as the wall drops down, it gives it the, I mean, most perfect timing. Couldn't ask for anything better. Ball being covered. Finesse. Yeah. Even with the whiff.
Even with the whiff, he just gets clotheslined by Trent swinging around the corner. Valin has just run rings around NRG in this round.
This calling is, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's beautiful the way that he's playing these slow moments. A freebie for Crashies towards the end. But these are, again, just meaningless finishes to what is dominance at the start of these maps. G2 with another 6-0 lead. Exactly the same in both maps. And NRG struggle on defense once more. That's so nicely orchestrated, though. The lamps control and then the rotate over. Hearing Victor run away and absorbing all of that space again.
Yeah.
Leaf looking to try to play more aggressive on the low.
Don't expect them to insert somebody in your spawn.
Yeah, but at the same time, NRG should know that that's a possibility. They didn't have any utility to clear out that short push. They should know that lamps at least is compromised. And they rotated based off one flash into Hookah that instantly got re-cleared.
This looks like a rare fast play that's occurring. The wall just about blocks it. Demolished in the process, but they've all just tried to walk right into the stack. Shows up over his own, over to strike. Why not upload the whole war chest? Can they still get the kills? Yes, they will with the guns in hand.
Right there.
Needed to be a turning point for NRG. Perhaps it's this one here. Still two players though, G2.
Right there.
They'll be willing to put up a fight. Plenty of money left in the back pocket. Don't care about losing the guns. Slow to a crawl.
And the fast pace at the beginning of the round not working for G2. NRG very comfortable playing against that. But this spot, you are not taking a very good fight here with a frenzy. If he was tucked in the close left corner, perhaps.
There's some jumping though. Just can't land it.
And that's the open B site. NRG are going to have to scramble now to get somebody into position. G2, though, do not know that B is completely open. Nevertheless, they take all of the space really quickly.
That's rapid.
30 seconds left.
Making that read based off where Finesse was playing, that no one would be on site behind him.
Seekers aren't going to be used, going to clear out most of it. G2, the emphasis is on them. They have to make the play here to double hold onto the elbow angle to flash to try and set him up. But everybody's tucked away to the side. Jonah P. And through the back now, a Trailblazer. It's an abundance of util. It's all going to be clearing them through, but spammed out, even anticipating that re-peek and re-face. Finally, it's NRG. Needed to be a win with the amount that they invested into it. It finally is one, at least on the board.
They used Orbital Strike, Showstopper, Seekers to be able to set up that final play towards the end as well on the retake. It's a win for NRG, but it's so expensive. And it also comes off the back of G2 playing a more aggressive, fast-paced push down short that NRG have got protocols to deal with. And I think Valorant's just going to go immediately back to the slower pace. So, as is the case so often, there's a round win on the board, yes. You get a tick in the column there. But is it replicable? It all comes down to the way that G2 play.
Just that fast play getting punished, right?
Exactly. And an enormous war chest of ultimates being expended. Now, Finesse has moved his Viper orb over towards B long. He's been doing this for the last few rounds. So they do have more defense in this kind of area of the map to deal with G2 taking space. He was previously putting it at default over towards A.
I got the spike.
I'm just going to go down now, this double hold. What is that? Catches onto both of them. They're all blinded up. There's anything. Goop all over the place. Molly had to be dropped down. No one's facing this. Evanes covers. Has to be that level to it. Orbital strike. It's committed. Just to buy them that space back. And he's regaining the spike here in a drop down now. A lot of noise being made. Jonah P might even pre-aim this. Just spot him for it. Jumping. A lot of noise being made. This is getting scrappy. And a pop flash play, out and through, it's covered, Ethan. Re-swinging, out there, in for the smoke, don't leave. It's a fox in the pen, finally Ethan lands a shot and cleans him up, and the adjustment is snappy.
Great value from Ethan there with a triple kill. But I think the real savior of the beginning of the round is Finesse. Dealing with Icy after he and Crashies were both blinded up in Octagon and then getting a second kill. That's big value that you need actually from Finesse in these kind of positions. Two on the board. Can they bring this back to a serviceable defense half? Ethan's putting the op into another unexpected position there. Wow,
that's cheeky.
I thought it was for him, actually, to try to get in a weird spot, but this is really interesting.
That's real cheeky. Victor's going to be able to catch potential lurk angle there.
Especially with the way that G2 have been playing, where they take a lot of B-long control and then pivot through the teleporter. Victor's positioning would be excellent, but I think they're just going to time out this Sage Wall.
Yeah, they usually. I mean, that's the way that G2 play. Should be expiring at some point. It's going to be dropping down.
And so it's a cute idea, but because you can only do this at the start of the round, you can't do that in the mid-round because you don't have enough safety.
There it is.
It just doesn't really work against G2's slower pace.
If we'll hear that. Ethan still with the operator. Jonah P! A shoulder peeking out just barely, but the shot missed.
Wow. Double shallow peek there. Ethan holding for the wider swing, which would be more common.
Lurks on lurks. Trying to catch a timing. G2 back up through showers. It's not being watched here. It's not being watched. Someone's just wide open.
Where's Victor going through the teleport?
Just TPing, expecting to, I don't know.
They had no info over towards B. Crashies is holding long with an knock. He didn't see anything.
And Icy's up through heaven.
I don't understand what's going on with NRG's defense rotations. So many times, G2 have got somebody deep in a lurk position, and they know exactly how NRG are rotating on defense because they're making noisy running around the map. And then you also get rounds like this where, if you think back a few rounds ago, when Valen called for them to take Lamps control and then Leaf got a deep lurk into spawn, that was also Victor that was over-rotating over towards B. Now, of course, we don't know whether this is Victor making mistakes or somebody on B calling for Victor to do that. So you can't put the blame on him necessarily, but the system's not working with the way that they're playing the defense side.
They want to keep these guns intact, at least Victor defending. Out of the onslaught, eventually traded. This Alba player crashes with the ARP. Gradually, and there it is. Time should be running out.
Yeah, okay, so they keep that online. But I think they've got some serious problems here. Part of it is probably the G2's slower pace. NRG are just scrambling for any information. After they lose Ethan over towards this side, there's a beautiful peek. Really shallow. Oh my god, great shot as well. Victor just chooses a somewhat, it looks like, random timing to go through the teleporter. And it just opens the door for G2 to hit the opposite side.
We've seen that evolution of play from a lot of teams. The Sky nerfs way back in the day, but it does force you to play a bit more risky. To get that information, gleam it through the mid-round. This one looks, again, it feels like there's a lot of pace towards it. No detainment there from the Thrash. Still going to be holding it down. Out through elbow. Icy choosing to commit to it, though. Stunned up. He's by the Trailblazer. There will no be follow-on. He's from NRG. Waiting this one out here. Now the pit to try and evacuate, at least get themselves back into it. Ethan! Not caught there, just on the reposition. In fact, Sleeper's the one who will fall. Wingman to try and push them back. Out through elbow. A reflank as well. It's still going to be occurring. It's going to be a tight squeeze just from NRG. They need to buy a bit of time, though. A second wave of things. Nade almost pulling them out of it. Icy is already taking that space in the movement. A jar from Victor. Just dancing around him. Som. All this space being brought up just for him to try and take this timing. There's a player still waiting. NRG should be cleaning up. Absolutely everyone. Still the smoke to play in from Jonah P. Walled up, not expected. Still going to be sticking this one out and through! Straight down, out into the corner. Ethan drops it over. Half on the diffuser already sticking! Away!
Unbelievable! Another round that NRG should have absolutely guaranteed slam dunked. It's a robbery. It's thievery. What am I watching? There have been so many of these situations. I guess it comes down to the inexperience on the team for playing together just at the moment, but spots like that, Victor and Finesse getting sprayed down. I mean, the way in which they're losing, it's the most ridiculous stuff happening. And those are the rounds where NRG have advantages. There are also rounds where G2 are winning very cleanly based off excellent calling or the players popping off, but there are so many of these spots where NRG are toe-to-toe with G2, and then something crumbles at the final moment. A crossfire fails, a flank can't find the kill. The diffuser isn't able to trust the teammates to hold everybody off. What a play, what a spot. But devastation for NRG as they look towards the final couple of rounds in this half. This one, it's going to be worse than Haven, almost assuredly.
Yeah. Managed to at least potentially get that 8-4 again, but we'll see how it happens.
But the economy is terrible for them at the moment. If they try to get this to an 8-4 half, look at what they're working with.
Yeah.
2 Guardians, a Spectre, and a Judge? I mean, it's nothing to work with. And they're force buying here, so they're going to be in a bad buy for the next round as well. I mean, this is the round.
It has to be Victor's ult. This looks like there's some aggression at work. The off end of the timeout here. Maybe they can at least take contact. It's a Trailblazer again. No info gathered. Everybody just running and scattering to the wind. Nobody willing to fall to this one. To an ult. It's wasted. Still Som. Put the operator into his hands, and at least it's going to come up with the goods.
Yeah, that's a great
with the kill.
Really big opening there. G2 are walking through showers. Ethan jiggle peeking it, doesn't take any damage for that, manages to escape. My eyes are drawn, however, towards Jonah P on the other side of the map, who's in a bit of a lurk spot over on B. And NRG had doubled up Hookah, so I don't know how Jonah would get the read, but if he chose to take a timing, he could try to wander through.
It's just no shot, right?
Well, once the smoke dissipates and you post up on a number of angles, Finesse.
He's holding it.
Is he going walkabout with the Judge?
Tighter angle. If they walk into the smoke.
Yeah, if there was one kill that could open up the round, it would be this battle over towards B Garden.
It all comes down to it. Ball's going to be dropping down. A lot of presence being made over towards A. Still 30 seconds left. And they just spot it into the corner. Finesse falls. Everybody front A section, though, inside to the smoke. Not expected by Leaf to kill found there. Som still with the operator following these players out for the TP. Not anticipated. Time finally ran out of it. Only 11 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
No options for Jonah P. And so there's that third round fated for NRG.
And what a risk to go for. What a gambit. Throwing all of your eggs into one basket here, then round 11. To force up with such bad weaponry and believe in yourself to be able to drag this back to an 8-4 half. They've done it. That was the most important round to make this one salvageable at all. They've at least given themselves the chance here to get rifles back online and make this 4-8, same as Haven. Big round from Som as well, picking up the operator, getting 2 nice kills with it. But it goes back into the hands of Ethan for the final round of the half.
Might get lucky once more here with this timing, but it's Leaf not known to really overstep himself there in that spot. Gonna wait for the pressure to come through over the top here. Showstopper! No way! Where the hell did Icy land that one? At least with the kill, it is gonna be traded. Bullets flying forwards and at least pointing them into the right direction. NRG got a handle on this one and got a grasp. But they're gonna reset now. A line drawn into the sand. The patience played out through the back of the side. It's still a pit though. That's gonna be dropped and layered. Making it more difficult. Jonah P, not expected. And what a mistake! NRG, slightest of gaps. And it's the IGL left to stand and the IGL falls. 9-3 will be the finish.
Switching sides.
Only the second time that G2 tried a fast hit. This time catches NRG off guard. The plant went down so very quickly there. And with the pit up too, just distracted. It's a splash shot off the back of the wall. And really, I think Victor should have been able to get that kill, just missed the tracking slightly. And obviously overlooking Jonah P over towards bench was the death blow. I'm sure Finesse is gonna still feel confident in his own skills, but he is not making it easy with these defense sides.
Now G2 with an absolute chokehold so far in the first half for Bind. Let's send it down to Liz, who's down on the floor.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm here with someone you know, but you don't know his face. It is Will Minder, everyone. You've seen, that's right. Have you seen him on Twitter? He is doing all the math for you. But maybe for people who don't know, can you explain who exactly you are and why people that name may be ringing a bell?
I post the stats on Twitter, you know, the player stats, the team stats that you see on your feed.
And you see them and you use them in all your VLR and Reddit posts. So you should be thanking this man. But everyone say thank you, Will Minder. 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 You're not on the job, but I'm putting you on the job right now. Can you give me, for each team currently on stage, your favorite stat about them?
My favorite NRG stat is that they're currently the oldest team in VCT. Thank you, FNS, for that. And my favorite...
Wait, how old's the average age?
I'm pretty sure it's in the high 20s, pretty high 20s.
I'm 25. That's not bad.
It's a pretty big gap between the other teams, though.
Okay, what about G2?
Leaf is currently the highest kill leader in Americas right now.
Let's go Leaf! A single Leaf! Amazing. Okay, what's like your favorite like fun stat about any of the teams that people might not know?
The Sen Classic is still highest average out of all the teams in VCT.
I bought the Sen Classic. Are you proud of me? Yeah! But my last question for you is, I don't think people realize or understand how you do what you do. Like, are you just like furiously writing down in a notebook? Do you have a calculator, an abacus? How do you do what you do, Will?
No, well, throughout time, there's been more websites that actually track more of the stats that I do. So I don't do too much work, as much work anymore as I used to. There's a lot more like development and dedication to actually getting the stats now.
Well, thank you so much for what you do, Will. We would not be the same community without you. Everyone get it for Will one more time. And let's see if that 9-3 curse stat gets changed, because friends, we have a game to get back to.
See if they, G2 end up closing this one out. That was really a masterclass in crowd work, tiny smidge of pandering. I respect it.
Yeah, very good, very good. I don't think I'd get the same cheer for buying the Carmine Corp bundle with this crowd.
You definitely wouldn't. You get a boo, actually.
Yeah, so 9-3. A desperate situation for NRG, one where they need the pistol, but also need to be able to put their trust in their attack side ideas and pull this one over the line. Their composition does not have the double initiator that makes the XX so powerful for teams like 100 Thieves, for example, or G2 in this spot as well.
She connects onto Valen. Absorb a lot of that one still, and they do have that lamp position. Icy hasn't been removed this whole time. It's a quick pivot and exploration out towards Showers as well. Icy is feeling the heat here. There's uncertainty. He can hear many footsteps running up over him. They do just reclaim that space. So NRG, at least with that first kill,
It's a nice adaptation as well for them. They lost short control. Got to hold on to it.
Still finding it. Plenty more to flood where that came from. It's going to take a miracle at this point. Trent eventually dropping. Jonah P off onto the side, 70 health. But everybody knows exactly where he is. Classic in hand. But it's a crossfire setup. Look at this. Triangle of death that's been set up. There's no worlds, not with a wall in his face. So, pistol round. Needed to happen here for NRG.
And I think that they adapted to it really well. As soon as the dog comes through and Trent barrels his way through the teleporter, NRG upped the pace, got onto site, played for backside control as well, had a lovely pinch through lamps. You know, that's not the pistol round that they drew up. That's based on adapting to what G2 threw at them. And they've done a good job of it there.
Wow, Pujon. On you.
It was a bit of a freebie for Finesse to be able to get that one online, but he's got to convert on those. And it was nice timing to be able to get him that freebie. 3 players for G2, starting in spawn and just following the noise.
They're going to be ready to respond in kind, even though they are on that eco round.
Yeah, 5 classics. Maybe just planning to run at them as soon as they plant. You know, NRG didn't really play very much plant denial themselves, but G2 are going to focus on that really heavily.
Got waves of it. Mosh might just be the next level of it as well. Still holding out, waiting for the next tap. Smokes are going to be fading away. Ball still up. That's boosted him way up into the sky. Jonah P. Okay, Clay Pigeon shooting. Still got to think there's some damage here. NRG, how do they play this one? Even now going to be sticking, committing. He's now with the plant down, but doubled up, running through. And here's FNS. He's got a handle and control. Caught to the reinforcements. They do arrive just in time.
Looking good there with the patience on getting the plant down. That's one of the things that Finesse's teams in the past have excelled at, is not getting antsy in spots where the plant gets denied.
Their day.
They hold lamps control, hold short control, and are very, very patient. I think that's one of the defining characteristics of his calling style here on Bind. Now also, any NRG fans are going to remember the horror show that was NRG playing against Billy Billy here on Bind. And that one's iconic.
Yeah, it was. Together. Bringing that one up.
Yeah, I mean, that was the last time, really, that they've been on the stage playing Bind, though. Right, for Finesse and Soft.
Quite some time away. Nicest nade just seeking to delay them from scaling up, taking that space again. It's very fast from NRG. At the same time, FNS does have that sand control. Might be calling for the TP just from all of his kittens. Mosh pit. Drop down at a feed of Som. Can't quite get that one. Still trying to fight this one into the back of the side as well, but it's a very narrow choke point. Makes the bullets quite easy. G2 just land that one with FNS seeking a timing. It's Jonah P, who's still locking it down. Now with that kill found, he's going to find that rotation out through showers. Trailblazer cleared away. G2 now set up for this retake.
That's so late from Jonah P. And he catches that timing onto Finesse. Finesse running, making noise, thinking that everyone had rotated already.
Double flash. One of them not connecting, but at least the Dizzy does. Tucked tight to the corner. Som just cannot evade it. Too many bullets coming in. His direction. Wingman with the defuse. Trying to cover this one. Not enough with the reset. Crashes. Can't control the rifle in time. And so that is successful retake. You can tell that it was layers that G2.
Yeah, at the same time, though, NRG, that's a pretty decent bonus round. They get the plant, they get 2 kills, knock armor off one of the players as well. I think they'll be fairly happy with that. The problem is that they haven't set themselves up with very much buffer space, right? 3 more rounds and G2 have taken this one. They're edging their way closer to that match point. And so far, NRG have only had to demonstrate one idea, which is short control, take lamps, slowly try to get the plant down and put pressure on anyone who attempts to deny. So are we going to see anything different? NRG have run some fast showers takes before as well. Victor double blast packs. Not what he's going for this time, though. Looking to take this one a little slower, but still trying to take this area of the map away from Valen.
Boombot's broken quite early. Still with the orb now, Victor. It's going to be one away.
Yeah, and in terms of the ultimates, you normally expect the team that won the pistol and did a bit of damage in the bonus to be closer to, you know, having an ult online for a really important round like this. It's actually Jonah who got his up first.
G2 maybe not. Okay, just trying to hold that one. They were expecting that it could have been straight up the gut, straight through into the A hit now. Molly's util going to be used to just clear the way in a path. Wall up as well, safety for the plant. Has to be spammed down by these G2 players, but it can't quite get the angle.
Very similar round. Similar post-plant setup. Slight difference with Victor playing over towards Showers.
This time Leaf going for a bit of a fast flank as well. It is going to be held by FNS. They have to clear out the Showers position though, they know it. Still holding for it, Victor to Satchel. Still with the nade, FNS can't hold on to it. They still haven't got rid of Victor, and again, that is a nuisance player. This guy will be buying time for the rest of his team. NRG making a call to try and retake and hold on to this one, still clearing it with the rifles in hand. What are you going to be falling into this one? Reset by Leaf. This guy has been monstrous for his team. But the spike taking away, has to stick it. It's the only win con left, and taps and gives it up. Claims the kill, but a round win for NRG.
God, that one got a bit close as well. Another kind of situation where Finesse and Leaf are battling over towards, you know, a spot. Finesse holding, Leaf walks in, Leaf still wins the duel. He's been unstoppable today. But they did manage to at least run the clock down enough for him not to win the clutch.
Train hard. One enemy remaining.
The post plans, they're getting it across the line. It is close. And Leaf the only player with a hero rifle into this one. So very important that NRG actually converted and made sure that the spike detonated there. What an interesting spot for Finesse to be using his attack orb. Just to highlight where he put it there, he's thrown it into Showers. So Valen can't really hold this one. He can flash peek through it, peek from multiple angles.
Molly to slow them down, but might be calling for a bit of a Showers engage. A lot of players committed from NRG.
I look at Leaf and the timing he's getting again.
Out through the back, yep, Som cleaned up. Meanwhile, bit of a clash and a brawl occurring. Crashes to that rifle. Does hold it down for them. Spike's still been dropped. They heard the rumble of the footsteps again as G2 were just evacuating away. There's online.
Player advantage, rifle advantage, but no information around the map. They genuinely don't know if any spot is safe apart from Showers.
So what's the call? Still with that Trailblazer. They do have that in their back pocket.
Scout destroyed.
At least a charge there. Can clear out most of the site. Then a pit as well to lay it down, but this could still get dangerous. Wall has to block this. No way. There's a gap. And it was just precisely what Valen needed. Running him down. Vanessa trying to go for it. Showstopper. He didn't know. And see, but he does catch it. I see. With that reposition, Leaf. He does have the rifle.
Spike planted.
There's a lot to do. Walking away. As soon as the contact's going to be met and caught. No way. Victor, he falls. Rebound there with a molly. Decay damage is still going to be kicking. Down to a single digit of HP. He's got to back away. Got to respect this now. Still two to hold this one. Barely enough time to work with for Leaf. Could just come down to this. A moment to catch them. He hears a spray, potentially from both the rifles. Seeking the position as well. Pushing them way back up. Crouched just ever so slightly away from it and crashes. One to the cranium. Delivers the death blow. Enough for a round win. They are dragging this one back.
There's so much that's going wrong for NRG around the map. I think it's incredibly impressive that they're still making these rounds work. To be trapped inside Showers in a round like this and still convert, by getting that pit down, blooming it onto the site, wall to block off, and pushing people forwards. Yes, it's taking ultimates. Yes, it's scrappy and difficult. But NRG are closing the gap here down to 3. If they can win this one as well, it'll knock the economy once more of G2, and then the game will really be afoot.
Just spotted. Pixel angle from Trent. Going for the reaction there to see if he could take a player out, and he's not going to be dissuaded away from this spot.
They are so confident that this could be a sand crunch because of the shore control provided by the pit.
No way. Victor way ahead of it, over the strike. Nobody else could be forced into the fray in the fight that was really G2 seeking.
Yeah, you could see what they were going for there. Playing off the contact. Looking to go for the Brim ultimate. G2 have found themselves in a big advantage. You don't need to look for information as aggressively. But Jonah B's posted up pretty deep here, though, over towards Octagon.
NRG lacking these options. Unless Jonah P goes down, could be a big one. It's a game of really that chance and timing once more. The Dizzy ever so slightly delayed and late. He can drop down just to 10 health.
You heard the pros earlier.
Oh, this is awkward.
The two IGLs.
30 seconds left.
Barely an inch between them.
Maybe Noisebait there. Targets available. It's a rich environment still with the orbital strike. Rocket finds it. Icy has to stand his ground and maybe deliver this kill. And he finds it anyway with Som falling to his knees. An 11th round out for G2. There were many ways that could have gone wrong, but just G2 in the mid-rounding, they just had full control of A short and showers that entire time. They knew it was going to be landing over towards B.
And this one, probably the most important round to define whether or not this NRG comeback is going to be a reality. An eco swing round that knocked the economy of whichever team was going to lose it. NRG on the worst side of that. They're actually going to force into the next round. It's scrappy. Look at this. It's dire again.
Risky.
But they do not want to play for the draw. Everything is on this. They had a round a bit like this on Haven. It did go their way, even though the final result heavily in favor of G2.
It's two spotted. You hear the Trailblazer up at their backs. There's Molly's rebounding, even a stun potentially connecting. Be long control. It's going to be given over again. That timing, Leaf misses it. Jonah P. He's going for the flash and a dizzy, and the combo is still trying to collect it. Som! It's monstrous from him. Just a sheriff in hand, and he makes it sing. Victor quickly there with a wraparound.
Well, the force buys are working today, aren't they? It's looking unbelievable for NRG. Give them worse weaponry.
They'll convert, apparently.
I think also some of that might just be the gusto that they're playing with in those kind of positions.
Yeah.
Victor throwing his body on the line to make sure that he can get in there, but at the same time, how does Som even find those two with the Sheriff? G2's setup, maybe a bit ambitious, going aggressive off the Dizzy Flash, but...
They've missed the timing now twice now.
Yeah.
Just trying to take the fight at B long with the Dizzy.
Yeah, trying to recover after the first kill had gone Som's way. But G2 have put themselves in a rough spot here. I talked about the previous round being a real decider because it should, you know, under the normal rules, have forced NRG down onto an eco. And they came into this one with a Sheriff, and I think it was 2 Stingers.
Yeah.
I mean, really
Super
rough
risky.
force buy. A broken buy if you've ever seen one. But take a look at G2's economy. You know, they just won a round and lost a round. Lost bonus reset is going to put G2 now in the dumps. So, once more, I feel like this story is that NRG are prevailing against such rough positions that they find themselves in, and yet digging themselves out of holes. Putting themselves in bad spots right from the beginning, and yet still prevailing and making this a close game.
Player quality bailing them out.
Yeah, and ideas as well, finding rough ideas while they're in disadvantages.
Gotta keep stringing these rounds together though for NRG. There isn't much breathing room. G2 just need to find a few. I see. Quick with a disengage. It's nothing to do with that A short hold. Not anymore. Got the info we needed. He's the rifle holder as well. That's where there's danger.
Yeah, he's going to look to try to disrespect his elders here.
Off to the side there. Saisuda takes that time in again. The rifle finds a different hand. Off round to the side here. The wall into his face. Valen maybe seeking to just go straight over it. Ethan with the plant. Needs to be covered a little bit. TP's round here. Seekers have to be used to clear the way. The flank is going to be spotted. Trent. Not able to do too much. Jonah P's flash. It's a good connection. Even better shot. That's nice. Making a go of things here. Maybe there is a chance once more for the back-to-back Thrifty's detainment. Oh, it's committed. Up in his face. Another rifle gain. Down to just 2 players. This is going disastrous for NRG. Som is going to pick up these pieces once more. Find a way through with a mosh. Force them out wide. Valen with that rifle. G2. That's how they get to 12.
NRG had only just dug themselves out of one hole and they fall headfirst into another. They did such a good job of pushing G2 back down into an eco situation, and then they lose to the eco. So rough. Icy does good to be able to find the first one. A lack of map control, I think. And Trent being able to pick up crashies on the flank. It feels like the main pack for NRG did a decent job, and then people just get picked off one by one. G2 themselves taking a tactical timeout here, which I don't know whether that got queued before they realized they'd won the round, or whether they just want to take a pause and make sure that they convert in this spot, because these last 3 or 4 have been so scrappy. Both teams throwing haymakers at each other and finding sneaky little jabs below the belt as well.
If you're G2, it would be a great time. Use the timeout, see if you can pull out something set. Strategy maybe. Anything to get it over that line.
Yeah,
13th round.
I think though that your set ideas, I think they have a little less punch with the Sage in the mix. You know, if Ethan's playing a second initiator, then you can apply tons of pressure by throwing in a fast round.
Yeah, I agree.
But with the Sage, it tends to play
slowed. You know, you get it's a lot of pushback.
Yeah. Ethan does have the res online though, so maybe these slower paced situations and the post plant, they can just rely on a player advantage. It's gonna be tough though. He's got Stinger in hand, top of the scoreboard. Played fairly well individually on both maps here for NRG, but it hasn't really been enough for them. Especially when Trent and Leaf have been playing like they have today.
Flash and a boombot. Quite standard stuff. It's a shower's take here and a full committal to wall in their face alongside the smoke.
Ethan's been waiting to do that one for a while. Protocol that we've seen him holding that.
It's a lot that's been thrown up. It's just Trent committed though.
Door closes. Trent's outside of it.
Yeah.
I mean, do they read it?
This is awkward. There's a re-push call by G2. Proactivity. Res has to be offloaded.
Have they just ignored Trent?
Bringing him all the way back up. They have. They are just unaware. They've ignored him. They knew he was there.
But they didn't realize that he'd walked out of the teleporter.
I'm out.
And so Victor dealt with no longer the extra element out towards showers. Fallon. He heard it with the footsteps, man. Over the strike. Why not? Throw it into the mix. It's a death blow that was necessary for G2 to grab this round and grab this map. Grab the entire series, why not?
Crashies would have to 1v5 ace this to even keep NRG alive. G2 have effectively already slammed the door shut.
Spikes in the middle of nowhere. This is the revenge that G2 were dreaming of.
And just another 30 seconds of pain, potentially. Valin mercifully ends things out early. A rough one for the NRG fans. Felt like there were moments of clarity, great calling, and yet heartbreak. It's going to be so difficult for NRG to make playoffs at this spot. A G2 take another step forwards to earning that respect that has been so long denied them over here in Americas.
How much do they really need to do, you know? On the big stage, international performances, even regionally. They've been a heavy hitter. They've been taking these big wins away. This was clinical. I mean, it's a 2-0 victory. They came with well-drilled ideas, both the maps that we saw. It's a team that's here to play. They want to stay, make it to that playoff spot. That top 6 is what every single team is playing for.
Yeah, and is it the fairest matchup in the world between Finesse and Valin? I don't think so, when Finesse and Som have just come back from 10 months of retirement, but here and now, this G2 team is looking wonderful. So many ideas, good protocols, massive individual performances from Leaf on map 1 and Trent mostly, I would say, on map 2. Just being able to pick to pieces the small holes in what NRG were going for. And that's something that hasn't really been showcased as much from G2. It's been much more about the team play and the ideas, how they work off each other. But individuals found their moments today to a huge degree. I mean, look at this one from Jonah P, for example. Hitting a 3K in order to steal a round that should have been NRG's by right.
There's many instances of that where just the tiniest of details made the difference, but I mean, overall, can't discredit G2. Game plans are great.
And another day at the office for those people at the watch party. I mean, they were just... They
golf clubs all around.
I mean, they knew it was done, right? And it's not anything new, really, for G2. They have been winning. Maybe not in terms of their record in their regular season, but they were winning throughout playoffs to get second seed heading into Shanghai. Winning at Shanghai, doing a great job of making it out through that Swiss stage and only losing to the finalists, and here taking down another team that a lot of people respect. G2 are here to play.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, with that being said, we're going to send it down to Liz, down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview. Take it away.
Now the real party starts.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm here with the man who, in your words, mercifully ended the game for NRG. It is Valen, everyone. An incredible performance. You need to be louder for Valen. That was an incredible game you called against one of the most storied and experienced and talented in-game leaders in the world.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now?
It feels good. I mean, going into this match, we felt really confident with our game plan, with our map pool. So I kind of expected this win. I didn't expect anything less from the team because we've been prepping really hard for this moment since the offseason, really. These high-pressure games where it feels like do or die because we're in a tough spot with our record. And I feel like the boys thrive under pressure, and it was a big match for us. Everyone wanted to beat them really bad. So it feels good to actually do it.
I'm sure it does, and that was very convincing. Yes, Trent's mom is clapping. Yeah. You mentioned this. I'm gonna kind of go back to that word. You said pressure. You have felt a lot of pressure because of your scoreline right now and like how many games that you have to win. Does this win take some of that pressure off, or is it just, okay, we have to keep going, we have to keep fighting?
In terms of pressure, I mean, definitely helps that we're 5-3 now. I think it comes down to us winning one of our next 2 matches to almost guarantee the playoffs. But, you know, mentality doesn't really change right now. We have our eyes locked in on trying to make champions. It's a big event for us. It'd be our first champions for everyone. Maybe, I don't know about Leaf, but I mean, eyes are locked. Regardless of the match, regardless of our win, we're going to keep pushing forward.
It's a basic question, but what would it mean to you to make champs?
I mean, I say this every time for big events. This game really is my true passion. I devote all my time into this. My mental effort is always locked in on the game. Even my lifestyle is kind of around trying to be the best player I can. So
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by your lifestyle around that?
I don't know, like I wake up, I play the game all day, I watch VODs after, I try to get walks in the morning just to have the I guess the mental buff, like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So Sentinels.
Sentinels have arrived. You can tell.
Sentinels have arrived.
But thank you so much. Everyone give it for Valen. One more time. You cheer for Sentinels. Cheer for Valen. And we're going to go to a break. But you guys might know what game is next. It is Sentinels versus Cloud9.
Line's been drawn. They're picked to pieces. Cloud9 are so good.